So with FIFA 19 coming out next month, I thought that now would be a good time to go ahead and look at each championship club and talk through who we think is going to be the highest rated player from each team. So let me know in the comments down below, who do you think deserves to be your highest rated player in FIFA 19? And what we're going to be doing in today's video, today we are going to be talking about the top 2 players who, in my opinion, will be the highest rated from each championship club. So like I said, make sure to let me know in the comments down below, who do you think are going to be your highest rated players and what do you think they deserve to be rated. So if you do go into enjoy the video, make sure you do leave a like, it is always massively appreciated. Also let me know down below, how do you think your team will get on in the EFL Cup? That kicks off tonight with the first round. My team Preston off then going up against Morecambe. I'm going to predict a 2-1 home victory for Preston. Let me know down below how you think you guys will get on. But apart from that guys, let's go ahead and jump into the video. So we'll go through each championship club in alphabetical order. Without further ado, let's get into it. So starting it out with Aston Villa, this one is going to be quite obvious really. Their highest rated players have to be Jack Grealish and James Chester. For Grealish, I'd decide to go and give him a 76 rating. I think that EA can give him anywhere from a 75 to a 77 probably. I'd say that's realistic. Last season on FIFA, he was a 73 rated silver. I think they'll bump him up to a gold. I think that he's shown, you know, the calibre of player he's capable of being. James Chester as well, a leader at the back for Aston Villa. I think a 76 would be fair for him. In terms of Birmingham, I think their squad is going to see quite a few downgrades going into FIFA 19. Their highest rated player probably will be Jota, in my opinion. Last year on FIFA, he was a gold. I see him being silver this year. Really didn't have the best of times last season. Hopefully, we'll get to see more of him this year, though. Their last season on FIFA, Check and Doy was their highest rated players. That's definitely not going to be the case again. For their second highest rated player, I decided to go for Harley Dean. I feel like he'll still be around about 71 rated, and they'll have a couple of other players around there. Then for Blackburn Rovers, we've got Bradley Dack and Charlie Mulgrew. For these two, I've decided to go for a 72 rating for FIFA 19. Be interesting to see how well they actually make the step up into the Championship. In League One, though, both of them were fantastic. Bradley Dack winning the League One Player of the Year, and Charlie Mulgrew scoring a shed load of goals for a centre-back. Like, his free kick accuracy on FIFA 19 needs to be up in the 80s or something, because he is absolutely ridiculous from set pieces. But for those two, I feel like in and around the 72 would be fair for them, really. For Bolton Wanderers, I wasn't really too sure who to go for with their highest rated player. I feel like they'll have quite a few players around that 70, 71 sort of rating, but their highest rated player, in my opinion, is probably going to be Alkowski, coming over from the Bundesliga, and so far he's really gone on to impress me with his first couple of performances in a Bolton Wanderers shirt. That game he had against West Brom especially, he was absolutely phenomenal. So if we see more of that this season, I think he'll be in and around about 72 this season. For their second highest rated player, I'd decide to go for Beavers. There's quite a few options for Bolton really that will be in and around 71. For Brentford, their highest rated players have got to be Ryan Woods and Ollie Watkins. Ryan Woods has got to be in and around 74, pushing on making a gold card in my opinion. Probably is one of the most underrated players in the Championship. I think that the fact that Brentford managed to keep hold of him will be massive for their season. Swansea, of course, were very interested. And Ollie Watkins, I feel like he'll be in and around about a 73. Last season, he really showed what he can do, but I feel like this will be a very big season for him. That game he had against Stoke City and the goal he scored the other day, some great build-up play and a fantastic finish from outside the box. I feel like he'll be in and around about 73. For Bristol City, I've then gone for Jeju and Marlon Pack as their highest rated players. I decided to give them both 73 ratings. I think that will be fair for them, really. Jeju last season, he did pick up an injury, but despite that, still managed to go ahead and bag 13 goals. And then Marlon Pack, once again, probably one of the most underrated midfielders in the Championship. His progression that he showed from League One when Bristol City were there up to the Championship, I think he'll be a very big player for them this season. Lately, Bristol City have lost quite a few big players, but if these two step up this season, then they could be in for a good one. Then we have Derby County. A lot has been made of Derby this season and the attacking threats that they're going to have going forward, but I feel like in terms of FIFA 19, the highest rated players will actually be a defender and a goalkeeper. Scott Carson is someone who is definitely warranted an upgrade from what he showed last season. In my opinion, he does deserve to be a gold card. Probably is one of the best goalkeepers in the Championship, so I'd say that around the 75 rating would be fair for him. Then for Curtis Davis as well, once again, one of the best defenders in the Championship. Last season, Derby were able to keep it very tight, and I feel like they'll have a couple of gold cards, definitely. For Hull City, it was quite an obvious choice. It is, of course, going to be their two wingers, Jared Bowen and Grosicki. Grosicki being an Polish international, he's, of course, going to be a gold card once again, in my opinion. And then we have Jared Bowen. Last year on FIFA 19, his base card was actually a bronze, so he's definitely going to get an upgrade. Last season for Hull City, he managed to go ahead and score 14 goals in the Championship. I feel like around 72 would be a fair reflection of his capabilities. I don't feel like EA will push him up much higher than that because it was his first real breakout season with them, but I feel like those ratings would be fair. Then for Ipswich Town, their highest rated player has to be Bilkowski, their goalkeeper. Probably is one of the best goalkeepers in the Championship and certainly deserves a gold card in FIFA 19. Around about 75, I think, would be a fair reflection. Then for their second highest rated player, Ipswich have lost quite quite a few players in this transfer window. I decided to go for Knudsen. He had a pretty good World Cup with Denmark, and I feel like around about 71 will be a fair reflection for him. I feel like Ipswich, once again, will be one of those sides who have a lot of players around about that 70 rating, but I decided to go for Knudsen. Then for Leeds United, I decided to go for Samu Saiz and Barry Douglas, both being 75 rated. I also feel like Pontus Jansson will be around about 75 as well. He's another one that you could throw into this. But Samu Saiz, I mean, he's already showed under Marcelo Bielsa the player he is capable of being. Last season for Leeds, he was quite hot and cold really, but that sort of fit in with how Leeds were playing in general. Of course, he picked up a suspension as well, but with the quality he's been able to show, I think he still does warrant being a gold card. Then for Barry Douglas, 75 rated. Last season as a left wing back, managing to pick up 14 assists in the Championship. He's going to be phenomenal this season, and I feel like they both deserve around to be 75. Middlesbrough are another team who I think will have quite a few gold cards going into FIFA 19. For their two highest rated players, I decided to go for Darren Randolph and Martin Braithwaite. Braithwaite last season had a bit of a weird one. He was brought in by Gary Monk, then he was loaned out in January. He's come back for this season though and has looked fairly sharp so far. The partnership that he's been able to form with Britta Sombolonga has looked pretty good for them so far. So I feel like he will be dropped down a couple of ratings, but I feel like he'll still be a gold card in and around 75. Then for Darren Randolph, another goalkeeper who I feel like does warrant being a gold card. In the Championship, we are blessed with some top quality keepers, and if you cast your mind back to the playoff semi-final that Middlesbrough had against Aston Villa last year, the only player that really turned up for Middlesbrough was Darren Randolph. Then for Millwall, I decided to go for George Saville and Sean Hutchinson. This was quite a hard one to pick really, because Millwall had a lot of players who had fantastic years last time, so I feel like their whole squad in general will just see quite a big upgrade. I decided to go for George Saville as their highest rated player though, last season in the Championship, scoring 10 goals from midfield, and then Sean Hutchinson, who was an absolute rock at the back for them last season. I believe he picked up their Player of the Year award. For Norwich City, I decided to go for Leitner and Grant Hanley. In my opinion, Grant Hanley probably is their best defender. Tim Close was a gold card last season, but I feel like he may be bumped down to a silver this year, and he'll once again be around about that 74 rating. Leitner's a player who I really do admire. I think that Norwich did well to get him back on a permanent this year, and I feel like both of them will be in and around about 74 rated. Onel Hernandez, I feel like he didn't really get to show much last season, but if he carries on the performances that he's shown so far, then he'll certainly be up there for a winter upgrade. For Nottingham Forest, I'm going to go for Costel Pantilimon and Gil Diaz as their highest rated players. I feel like Costel Pantilimon will once again be around about that 76 rated. Goalkeeper with quite a lot of prestige really, of course, playing for Man City previously, and coming down to the Championship, I think he still will be a fairly good rated goalkeeper. Then we have Gil Diaz coming in on loan from Monaco this season, valued at around about £20 million. Forest have had a lot of incomings this season, but I feel like out of all of them, Gil Diaz probably will be the highest rated. For my team, Preston North, then the highest rated player has to be Ben Pearson, an absolute rock in our team and the heartbeat of this Preston side really. Without Ben Pearson, we absolutely fall apart, and I feel like around about 74 would be a fair reflection for him. Last year he was rated 73, so I feel like an upgrade of +1 would be a fair rating. I want EA to give him a gold card, but realistically I don't think that's going to happen. Then for our second highest rated player, quite a lot of contenders for this one. I decided to go for Alan Brown, probably a player who surprised me most last season. He was always a very solid player for Preston, but last season he was absolutely exceptional, scoring 9 goals from midfield. For QPR, I decided to go for Luke Freeman and Massimo Luongo. Last year on FIFA, Luke Freeman was criminally underrated, one of the most creative players in the Championship. Perhaps at times does just lack that little bit of quality to go ahead and score more goals, but in terms of assists and creating chances and his deliveries from set pieces, Luke Freeman is an absolute quality player in the Championship, and quite a few other teams were sniffing around him in the transfer window. I feel like a 73 would be fair for him, and the same goes for Massimo Luongo. I feel like he deserves around about a 73 rated card this FIFA. For Reading's highest rated player, it's got to be Liam Moore. They did quite well in the end to go ahead and keep hold of him after he did hand in a transfer request, but one of the best defenders in the Championship, definitely deserves a gold card. I think around about 76 would be fair for him. Then for their second highest rated player, I decided to go for Modou Barrow. I'd be interested to see what Reading fans would think of this. Last year, I believe that Aluka was higher rated than Barrow. I don't think that that's going to be the case this season. Last year for Reading, Barrow did manage to score 10 goals as a winger for them, and overall I think he is a better player than Aluka, so I feel like he deserves to be higher rated. Aluka will probably be bumped down to around about a 72, and Barrow I think a 73 will be fair. For Rotherham United, I decided to go for Joe Newell and Billy Jones, both as 69 rated players going into this year's FIFA. I'll be interested to see how FIFA actually go ahead and rate Rotherham's squad, whether they bump their team up a lot or whether they keep them in and around the same ratings. Joe Newell was a player I like the look of last season though in League One. I think that if Rotherham are going to stay up this season, his goals and creativity are going to be very important for them. Then as for their second highest rated player, I decided to go for Billy Jones as a 69 as well, coming in as a player with quite a lot of calibre, a lot of Championship experience. I think that over the course of a season, his use at right back will be important for them. them. For Sheffield United, I decided to go for Jack O'Connell and John Fleck as their two highest rated players. O'Connell, I think, will be in around about 74. I think the base card he had last year was a bronze item as well, but he more than showed last season that he's one of the best defenders in the Championship. Perhaps hasn't had the best start to this season with Sheffield United, but even so, I feel like he is deserving of a big upgrade, as is John Fleck as well. He was absolutely terrific in that midfield three Sheffield United had last season, providing goals and assists from midfield and energy as well. I feel like around about 73 will be fair. For Sheffield Wednesday, it's a hard one to judge really, because pretty much all of their squad was injured last season, but their highest rated player has to be Fernando Forestieri. Sheffield Wednesday fans, do you think he's deserving of a gold card? Let me know down below. I feel like FIFA will once again rate him as a high silver, so it'll be around about 74 for Forestieri. In terms of their second highest rated player, quite a few options for this one. I decided to go for Barry Bannon. I feel like he'll still be that 73 rated player. What I'd also love to know from you guys is, who do you think is the better player, Fernando Forestieri or Samu Saiz of Leeds United? Let me know down below. For Stoke City, it's got to be Jack Butland. I decided to bump his rating down by 1 and give him an 80 rated card. Last season for Stoke in the Premier League, he had a bit of a weird season really, because if it wasn't for Butland, they probably would have been relegated sooner. Like, he did step up with some big saves for them, but at the same time, he certainly didn't live up to his high standards that he set from years before, and you know, he popped up with a couple of mistakes. So I feel like EA will rate him at around about 80. You know, he is still an England international. Then as their second highest rated player, I decided to go for Joe Allen. He's someone who definitely is still capable of playing in the Premier League, and even for Stoke last season, didn't have an awful year for them. For Swansea City, I decided to go for Leroy Fer and Jefferson Montero, both as 76 rated players this FIFA. Of course, both of them playing in the Premier League for them last season. Leroy Fer, he's become a bit of a yo-yo player really. I think with his last 3 clubs, he's actually been relegated with Norwich, QPR and then Swansea City. This time though, he has stuck it out with Swansea. I believe that the Swansea fans quite like him really. I think that if he does get his head right in the Championship, he can be a terrific player. The same goes for Jefferson Montero. We saw a flash of him on the first day of the season against Sheffield United, and if they are able to keep him fit this season and firing on all cylinders, he'll be a terrific Championship player with pace and dynamism going forward. For West Brom, I then decided to go for Jay Rodriguez and Nasser Chadli. I think there was a reason why they were Premier League clubs after Jay Rodriguez, and they actually did very well to go ahead and keep hold of him in the end. I feel like in around about 77 would be fair. He should be a striker on this year's FIFA as well, obviously scoring 2 goals against Norwich the other week. Then we have Nasser Chadli. I'm also going to go ahead and give him a 77, bumping him down by 1 from last season. For West Brom, he didn't really feature a lot last season, but in the World Cup he showed he is still a terrific player. You know, he was scoring clutch goals for Belgium at the World Cup, and now he's come back to play in the Championship. So I was quite surprised that he's still at West Brom, to be honest. I thought he'd be off, but he's still there, and I think he'll be around about 77. And then as our last team, we have Wigan Athletic. For their 2 highest rated players, it's got to be Dan Burn and Nick Powell. In the latest transfer window, Dan Burn was actually sold to Brighton for around about £4 million, but they have loaned him back for the time being. I think that he showed a massive improvement in League One last season, and you know, there was a reason why there were Premier League clubs after him. Then for Nick Powell, I feel like he deserves to be in around about 72 rated. So far, he's had a very good start to this Championship season, already picking up 2 goals, I think 2 assists as well. What I want to know from you guys is, who do you think deserves to be higher rated? Is it Nick Powell or is it Bradley Dack? Let me know down below. But guys, there you have it. That was every Championship club, and there were 2 players who I think deserve to be their highest rated players going into FIFA 19. Do you guys agree with me? Let me know down below. But guys, that will now wrap it up for this video. So if you did go on to enjoy, make sure you do leave a like. It is always massively appreciated. As well as that, make sure you do subscribe for some regular Championship content. But apart from that guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.